We're into the quarterfinals of this freestyle chess tournament, aka Chess 960. Why is it called that? Well, look at all the pieces jumbled up. There's 960 possible starting positions, and this is a mouth-watering game because it's Alireza Firouzja with white against Magnus Carlsen with black, the world #1. Now they play 2 games here. One today, it's the 11th of February, one tomorrow on the 12th, then we get some playoffs, then we move to the semis. And this is just a bizarre attack. It's Chess 960 all over. So Alireza, what does he do here? Well, he kicks off with pawn d4. Sorry, e4, that threw me. The queen's usually on the d1 square, right? That would be d4. e4, this is what plays with your head. e5 in response. Now we get b4 played. Just a bizarre looking move, but you're activating heavy pieces when you do these ones. You're opening bishops, so the principles still apply. b5 from Magnus in response. And now this is where the chess gets bizarre, right? Alireza picks up this knight on g1 and moves it to the edge of the board. Normally a terrible thing to do because you're limiting the jumps, right? You can't jump off screen, off the edge of the board. You've only got a couple of jumps this way. Why wouldn't you centralize? Well, we're going to see the point, and look at Magnus's clock time. On the left here, this is a classical time control. It's never been seen before in Chess 960, but Magnus burns 20 minutes going knight c to e7, and it's not a great move. He should actually go for some copycat stuff, is what the Silicon Overlord is telling us. Now he's offering a pawn. Alireza doesn't take it. Then the knight moves and there's pressure from the queen and the bishop. You win the pawn back and black's doing quite well. Instead, we get f4, and this is where the fun begins. But before we carry on with the game here, I've got to tell you about the confessional booth, because they've reintroduced it. The players can go in there, give their thoughts. Magnus went in there early doors to give his thoughts on this position. Going to show you a quick clip. Now he is frowning here because rumour has it Ding had just popped in, let one rip. These things are airtight, right? That one's fermenting, brewing. Magnus walks straight into the eye of the storm, so he's trying to concentrate on the confessional, getting hit with this Dutch oven that Ding's left behind for him. But let's jump to the clip.
Anyway, I went for a really drastic measure here, bringing the knight from the queen side to the king side. I'm prepared to give up on the pawn on a7, I think.
Poor Magnus walks out dazed and confused, gets back to the board here, takes on f4. It is a principled move. Alireza doesn't touch the pawn. He castles the king. Yes, that's how you castle in Chess 960. Let's see that action replay. As long as there's no pieces between king and rook, same as regular chess, then you can castle and the king and rook will always end up on the same square. So if you wanted to castle queen side, you'd have to move all of these pieces and then the king would have ended up here, the rook on d1. Let's carry on. Knight g6 played, pressure on e4, d3 defends it. Now bishop f6, trying to neutralize this weapon. So Alireza takes, knight recaptures, this pawn now drops, very logical, and Magnus centralizes the queen. There's pressure on the knight, queen g3 supports. Could be tactics in the air with takes and check and loose queen and stuff. So what does Magnus do? Defend the queen, but it's not best. The computer wants to start liquidating some stuff here. But rook e8 is now played. Magnus takes with check. Pawn recaptures. The queens leave the board. Rook takes back. Why is this so much better for white already? It's not even so easy to tell because both sides have compromised pawn structures, but it seems to be to do with this excellent move, rook b3 from Alireza. He's lifting, looking to pressure a7, and Magnus isn't quite in the same position to activate this one, you know, so fast as Alireza. So a6 now from Magnus. He's already getting under pressure here. Look at Alireza, nice clip of the players. That is a cool jacket, right? They've got these colourful ones. Classy stuff and classy chess with rook a3. Pressuring this pawn. So Magnus covers with the bishop. Now the rook switcheroos back. pressures this pawn here, and you don't want to go c6. That would be one ugly, ugly pawn triangle, one dead bishop. So Magnus backpedals with the knight to cover this pawn here. Now knight b3, look at the horrendous hole on c5. Castle's now played by Magnus, knight c5, bishop retreating, rook a3, and Magnus just prepared to abandon the pawn, as he mentions earlier in the confessional booth when he's dazed and confused. Knight f6 now played. The pawn drops, but takes, rook takes, now d5. Got ahead of myself, and he looks for central counterplay here. So pawn captures, knight takes back. Magnus is a clean pawn down, but after a3, he does land knight e3, rook e1, and he doubles rooks. Dominates the only open file on the board here. Now, Alireza has to respond to a threat. What happens if takes here? Rook recaptures. Pressure then on this pawn after rook e2 invading. That kind of thing. So rook c6 now played to cover c2 and look to pressure this pawn. Now we see knight takes, rook recaptures. Now this pawn is covered with rook 8 to e7, and Alireza does similar, covering his second rank. He's in the driver's seat. g5 from Magnus, pawn h3 played, rook f5, Magnus getting down on time, same as Alireza. d4 now, Alireza pushing through the centre, check, king h2, and Magnus doubles the rooks. He wants to flush out the king, look for some funny business. Rook c3 now played, covering this rank here, supporting the a3 pawn. f5 from Magnus, king g3, king h7 played, rook f2, offering an exchange of rooks, and Magnus just has to keep pieces on the board, go for complications. So he checks, king f3 to stay with this rook. We see rook g1 played, and now an epic king walk from Alireza, starting with king to g4. g5 is pressured, so what does Magnus do? Covers with the king, and look at the heart rates at roughly this moment. Alireza's got some kind of peloton under the table there. He's pedaling away, heart rate right up. Magnus nearly half dead, even though he's on the back foot here. About 50 heart rate beats below where Alireza is. Cool as a cucumber, even though he's getting smashed. h4 is one way to break up the structure here, but instead Alireza takes. The commentary team aren't sure if he's made a mistake, because rook e3, Magnus getting counterplay on this pawn, looking for some checks maybe one day. g6, boxing the king, but Alireza now reveals his point. He marches that noble monarch forward into f5. Pressure more around that black king. This pawn doing a nice job of covering the square. And now g6 check is best to drive away the king and cover this threat. But Magnus doubles the rooks, perhaps just a bit resigned already to the position. His time is down, and Alireza simply delivers a hammer blow with rook c6 check. King h5 to stay with the pawn, and now rook g6, and Magnus Carlsen resigns the game after 37 moves. Why did he resign? Well, what to do? Say you take this pawn on a3, everything is collapsing. You can take and the king comes back. You can take this one. This is joining the party. The d pawn's running. White is now 3 pawns up. It's hopelessly lost. Nothing to play for. Wow, it's amazing when you take away the openings, make things weird. These young guys are destroying the old ones, and these results here give you some sense of that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash subscribe to never miss a future one, and to see another epic game of chess, check out the video on screen. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon.